Well, season's greetings, everyone. This is Nick Mike-like and the stupendous Mr. C. Fraser.
Well, hello again, and happy holidays to everyone.
Yes, because you might think it's like, why are we saying this for Jaws Revenge? Because it's a Christmas movie.
Well, yeah.
It takes place at Christmas, so we're doing it for Christmas. And so we're wrapping up the end of this franchise that started out so brilliantly and just kind of went right down the toilet.
Peaks and valleys.
Here and there.
I think two is the low point.
Oh, well, we'll discuss many different things in our commentary here.
Yes.
So, guys, if you have your own copy of this film,
please do.
Please. Get your timestamp over to 0 and turn on your subtitles to follow along with the film.
You got to get through all of those stupid, piracy
the
things.
The MPA screen and everything. So just get up to the timeline and get it over to 0. Subtitles turned on, and we'll follow along with a countdown to get you synced up. So in 3, 2, 1, play.
This has been at least 2 years in the making.
At least we've mentioned it a lot.
I don't remember what the first inciting incident was that referenced probably Michael Caine somewhere along the way.
Something.
And which led to the discussion of Jaws the Revenge, which led to, hey, we can't start at part 4, we have to start at part 1, which was 2 summers ago. Well, yeah.
Summer of last year.
Right. So now, they all kind of start with this underwater thing.
Yeah, this one's not quite as beautiful because they're all doing the nighttime thing, so it's a little bit more murky.
It's a very weird logo, too.
Yeah, it's a strange choice.
Lorraine Gary gets first billing.
Yeah, she was still married to the studio head at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sid Sheinberg. So
Sheinberg. No wonder she kept her name.
I guess she commented like, I got a bigger paycheck on this than if I wasn't married to the studio head. Of course.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And she's been kind of like semi-retired at this point in time, so she came back for this.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? Because Roy Scheider ain't coming back, man. He said something to the lines like, Satan himself couldn't get me to make Jaws 4.
There he is, Hoagie.
Hoagie. I cannot do a Michael Caine impression. Let's just get that up front. Can't do it. As much as I'd love to be able to do one. I'm not that talented. You almost have to start out being British to even get anywhere close. Right. I have no clue.
The music is pretty good, despite, I mean, they do reference there, you saw a little bit ago, that John Williams gets credit again.
Yeah, for his original work.
This is a, like a point of view shot?
Yeah.
Are we to assume that we're the shark in this scenario?
I suppose so, but I don't know. It's a little close to the shore for it.
Michael de Guzman?
Joseph Sargent directed the original Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So,
which is a good movie.
That's pretty much his high point credit, I believe.
No. This is his high point credit.
In terms of a respectable film.
Oh.
Respectable.
Excuse me.
Do you eat fish at all?
I love fish.
Okay.
I love fish. Remember when ketchup came in glass bottles? Yes, I love fish. Okay. Although I don't particularly care for the full fish fry like that.
Sure.
I like the breaded and more deep fried, pan fried, whatever.
Sure.
Anytime there's still the whole fish.
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't turn out as good as when you see. Even in this scene, she's kind of destroying the meat of the fish.
She ain't paying no attention.
So this is the youngest son, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Mike was the older one.
Okay.
I think Sean Brody.
Sean. Wait, Uncle Sean is.
Okay. Yeah, so he's talking to Michael.
No, he said Uncle Sean.
But he said, hey, Michael.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh, she was talking to the grandkid.
Right.
Okay, all right, got it.
Now, when I was doing some research, the weird thing is, they seem to imply, at least in like marketing materials and stuff like that, that they're completely ignoring the third film.
That sounds about right.
I mean, like, there's nothing nothing I picked up is like, okay, yeah, they're in different professions, but like, people can change professions.
Sure.
You can go from being a cowboy to coming back home and being the sheriff now or something like that, and Mike could easily go from SeaWorld into the more scientific field he goes into. It could work.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, I don't know.
But we're back in it.
It's not as egregious as some other things. It's like, oh, we're just going to completely jump the shark in terms of continuity and say this. None of this could possibly fit whatsoever with anything else that came before it. But that's not like blatant contradiction, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
it's
fine.
Yeah. And you got this big old 8x10 Scheider.
Oh, it's a lot bigger than that.
As big as me. Yeah, it's a big sucker. Just drive it right into your face, like, here he is. Here he is right now. And the thing is, I don't think under SAG rules they have to credit him. They don't have to pay him for anything yet at this point. Because it was the Back to the Future 2 thing with Crispin Glover, who sued Universal and stuff like that, the same studio.
Right.
For using his stock footage from the first film when they wouldn't pay him what he wanted to come back to shoot new footage for the film. So I think it was 89-90 where the SAG rules changed and you had to pay royalties to the actor if you're going to reuse their image for anything in the film. So I don't think they're actually having to pay him anything for that.
So are you saying that this took place before the settlement?
Well, this is 1987 this got released. So
okay.
This is 2 years before the Back to the Future 2 even happened.
Okay. So chances are they did not pay him for his picture.
Right, and they reused footage of Scheider in the film, too.
Do they really? Okay,
yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. There's a lot of stock footage.
There's a bad mustache.
Yeah.
Sir. Your flannel plaid is fine.
Yeah.
But the mustache has to go.
Yeah.
See? Look at all these Christmas festivities happening in Amity.
Amity Island.
I think this is just one big tracking shot. It's kind of cool.
A little bit, yeah.
All those background characters and everything. I just think it's so interesting that you can do like a one shot.
Yeah. Had they gotten Scheider back, this would have been him in the film.
Really?
He just would have still been chief or whatnot. Gone out here and he would have been gone within 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah, this isn't going to end well for old Sean.
No.
It almost ended poorly for him back in part 2.
Right.
But nothing happened and nothing happened.
Nothing happened and then nothing happened again.
More nothing happened and then nobody died, nobody got eaten, and eventually everyone got saved.
Yes.
There's only like 3 people that died in that movie.
Christ.
It's boring as shit. Not to say that death and destruction makes it not boring, but it just wasn't.
But it kind of seems like Jaws 2 is like just gets completely removed from the entire conversation of the franchise because like it's the least notable one. It's like 3 is awful.
Right.
It's a fucking ridiculous piece of shit.
Even bad press is good press, right?
Yeah.
So
and this one gets completely ridiculous too.
Right. 3 is lambasted for being gimmicky and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This one is lambasted for just being stupid. But both of them are entertaining as hell.
Right.
That shark, which is now, like 40 years old, definitely has a taste for...
It took me a minute in this whole thing to realize his arm had been chomped off. One, they edited that beat so badly.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And his acting is terrible here. I mean, you think of anyone who's probably gotten a limb chopped off, they're probably in like either way more pain than he's exerting here, or they're in utter shock. This just feels bad, like a bad piece of acting.
This I feel like is okay.
It's okay. I feel
the
like
yelling for sure. This is very bad edited.
Yes,
bad.
Badly framed, so you can't. Even if you had long shots, but there's still nothing to see because it's all extreme close-ups.
Right, you can't tell what's happening. Now
Right.
that's nice.
All right,
That's great, but
and now
he's still
been
intact
attacked twice, and
Right.
he's still floating around, screaming.
we don't know what.
It's.
It was bad.
I mean, like, this would have been worth Scheider's fucking time for anything, any money. I'm sure Scheider had a bunch of better things going on at this time. He had no business for this at all.
I mean, silver lining, the log got dislodged, and so it's no
he
no
achieved
longer
the goal he went
Right,
out there
exactly
for.
right.
Just where he wasn't worth the price.
right. I mean, at least he did his job. It would be, imagine being in her position,
Sure.
who nearly lost her husband twice.
Well, but I think that, they say in this film Scheider's character died of a heart attack in between films.
Okay, sure. But I mean, as far as like shark attacks go,
Mm-hmm.
I just like the shark
Yeah.
trauma that the woman's been through.
Right. As Lance guessed, it was our Jimmy Lloyd from Halloween 2.
Jimmy.
I love the beard, man. It looks great with the
It does
beard.
look good, yeah. Jimmy. And in theory, Jamie Lloyd's father.
Yes, yes.
God, I'm still upset that I never put that together. It's shocking to me. Jimmy.
There's some good photography in this one, at least.
Well, when you know what? When you have the scenery in the background,
Right.
it's kind of hard to mess it up.
Yeah. There's a lot of other points later in the film. I think they really had a certain style they were going for. I think was very engaging for me.
Did you see that somebody said Mrs. Kintner?
Yeah.
So clearly it's not the same woman.
I was reading things like whoever it was from the first film does make like a freaking blink and you miss a cameo.
Well, if that was her, then she
Yeah.
has to be 100, because if you remember,
Yeah.
Mrs. Kintner looked like Grandma Kintner
Right.
in the first film.
Yeah.
So now she's got to be Great Grandma Kintner, because these folks
Right.
have grown up and had children of their own.
Even if we're just taking Jaws 2 up to this point, there's still feels like there's still a longer period of time transposed between than just the 9 years between the release dates of the film, because the Sean and Mike characters still feel like they're older than they would be if that was a clear linear progression.
Right,
of time.
right, exactly. But then again, let's say, for example, that the Kintner boy that got eaten in one
Sure.
is the same age as Mike, give or take.
They're about maybe a little younger.
Then that would make the mom Ellen
Yeah.
Brody's age. So even though she looked like she was 100 then,
Sure. I think about the hairstyle on her. Come back around.
yeah, give me another view here. Oh, yeah, that's not for me.
No, I just kept watching it the other day. It's like, no, this gotta go.
I don't like the bangs on the wife either.
No.
Yeah, come down here. We live in the Caribbean, wherever. Florida, I don't know where it's supposed to be.
It's Bahamas.
Oh, is it the Bahamas?
In terms of where the thing was shot, okay, I kept hearing conflicting things like either they shot it in the Bahamas or they actually shot it off the coast of Hawaii, Oahu. But I kept reading different things like, okay, some of them say this thing, some of them say that thing, so I don't really know.
I feel like Michael here is not as torn up about the death of his brother.
Yeah, that's very unusual.
As somebody would be.
Right.
Especially given how close they seem to be.
Yeah,
you
would imagine
in the first couple films. Unless that's what this is supposed to be. Him.
Yeah.
Whatever. Funeral scenes are often weird and awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, see.
What a great scene.
Yeah.
And you're right, I bet neither of these actors got paid a dime.
No.
And it's Universal.
Yeah.
Clearly they were repeat offenders, as it were.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we own the image,
Yeah.
so we get to use it. But maybe not.
It's like,
Thank you, Crispin Glover.
I guarantee you, Scheider didn't take time to watch this movie. He doesn't.
No,
he probably has no freaking clue they use this footage anyway. It's like he's not even going to waste his time.
You ever get one of those giant lollipops like that? Like when you were a kid? You ever have it?
No, I never did.
I feel like I did once, and they just take forever to eat. I don't know.
It was an interesting thing in terms of like the production timeline on this thing. They got it from initial conception to release in 9 months.
Another one of those
Yes.
scenarios where
Right.
you could potentially not even have a baby in the amount of time as it took to make the entire
Right.
movie from beginning to end.
I mean, it's like they signed on the director before they even had a script written.
I think that's pretty common, though.
The shooting script wasn't even done by the time they. I don't know if they started filming or something like that. I don't know. It was a bit of a thing. I think they started shooting around February and finished shooting at the end of May, and then it gets released in July.
That's a quick turnaround, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't feel like it's unusual for directors to get added to, concept ideas or,
Right.
I bet there's a lot more of that happens than we give credit
Right.
to.
I think it was like one of the executives. It was kind of pushing. It's like, well, the third film was very, very profitable, but wasn't really well received by the. So they thought there was still some juice they could squeeze out of it. So it's like, as soon as they have like an initial idea, it's like I think we can do something. Let's just try to throw something together, and not really kind of take a lot of time to really kind of come to a good idea. It doesn't start with a good idea for a story. It starts from the idea of like, let's just make some money. Doesn't really matter what the story is. Let's try to just make something, and here we go.
No, you aren't. Well, I guess maybe you are, but I love that we have Michael Caine on here.
Oh.
The kid, the little girl, they're super cute. And I love that she said, "I'm too young for coffee." There's a running joke with all of my friends' kids.
Okay.
That, obviously I have a cup of coffee all the time. And so I'm always offering my coffee.
right now.
I do not have one right now. This is shocking. I'm always offering my coffee to all of my friends' kids, knowing that they don't want it or can't have it or whatever.
Sure.
And so usually I tell them that they have to wait until they turn 5 before they can have a cup of coffee with me. And then sometimes, like when they get around that age, like my best friend's daughter, right, is, as we record this, is almost 5, and I will occasionally be like, "Oh, hey, you want some coffee?" And she'll be like, "No, I don't drink coffee." Or I'll ask her if she wants a beer. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, do you want a beer? And she's like, "I can't have a beer," which is hilarious to me because I talk to kids like they're adults. So. It took me a minute to realize that he was supposed to be singing that because it was so poorly looped at the beginning that it
sounded like it was on the radio.
Yeah.
Was this like Nat King Cole or something? I don't know.
Where is this that they're at? Because it's like ridiculously, it almost looks like Jamaica or somewhere that's like, complete poverty. There's like, friggin' goats.
Yeah.
I mean, the water is beautiful.
Oh, God. And Michael Caine was saying, like, when he read the script, it said it was set in Hawaii, but it's not Hawaii, it's the Bahamas. So I don't know, again, it's just very confusing exactly where they shot everything. Obviously, there's no freaking interviews or anything like that on this fucking disc at all to give me confirmation.
We need a fancy, 4K set of all of them. Although, even the Blu-ray of Part 3 was so grainy because of the...
Right.
I imagine if they did...
process.
4K would just make it unwatchable.
I don't know what you do with it. No clue.
This came out in 87, you said?
87. Came out the same day as RoboCop.
Oh, okay. Which is available in the archives now with us and Trent. Mm-hmm. Fun little movie.
Yeah, apparently it came in third on the weekend for box office behind that and a re-release of Snow White.
I understand, because in that era, it was like every 10 years that you were even allowed to release Disney movies because of the Vault thing.
Oh, yeah, the goddamn Vault shit, man.
So...
And if you want the Disney Channel, goddamn, you're going to pay a fucking ton.
I don't even know if it existed in 87.
I don't know yet.
I don't think it did. So,
no,
and home video...
you'd be paying a lot. That's a premium channel.
Home video, because of the Vault situation, home video wasn't releasing all of the catalog.
Right.
So, if you're a child, if you're our age in 1987, you may have never even seen
Snow
White, ever.
Right.
Because there was no way to watch it.
Right.
So... I mean, talk about it. No wonder it made so much money.
Right.
Because every parent who saw it, 10 years before wants to take their kid, and it's never been available.
Oh, here we go.
I imagine this is a dream sequence.
Oh, yeah.
And that's understandable, too, because...
Right, yeah.
She's been through so much trauma.
Mm-hmm.
She's sweating.
Yeah.
Now, that's an underwater shot.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Underwater photography in this thing is really beautiful.
Aside from that very first opening scene.
Yeah.
So, even, as I was saying, it sounds like or it looked like they were in Jamaica. I think this one guy up here on the deck actually is a Jamaican. This accent.
Well, it's Mario Van Peebles. He's not Jamaican.
Oh, he's not?
No.
Okay. Yeah, but he sounds like he's...
Oh.
Is that his actual voice?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, he's...
But he's putting on an accent. Look at all those shells. It's amazing.
Because he's the son of Melvin Van Peebles, who was a very prolific blaxploitation director, filmmaker, everything like that. And my friend... Because Mario ends up going on and also becoming a director. And so my friend Chris Agos worked with him he directed some TV episodes he worked on.
Okay.
So he has one photo with him and Mario and everything like that for one of the rap parties. So.
It almost feels like a mom and pop operation here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't feel. Man, I just feel like
sponsored from like
a school or a
research institute
right.
or something.
Yeah, it almost feels like just four buddies out doing their own thing. Yeah, see, it says Nassau in the Bahamas right there on his shirt, so.
Yeah.
And so it's Christmas now? Because I kind of was under the impression that
it feels like
they had Christmas in Amity and then came down, but I guess not. This must be Christmas morning.
Yeah.
So it was kind of serendipitous that it worked out that we were going to cover this in intervals that made it
season, like quarterly type of stuff. I like the fact that Mike actually has like a genuine tan. Like a genuine island's tan. It really, I just kept picking. I was like, it's definitely not a spray tan. It feels like he actually got color for it.
Did they even have spray tans back then?
I don't know. I'm just saying, just for the sake of.
I know they had tanning booths because my mother basically lived at one. She worked at one part time. We ended up with a tanning booth in my basement for a while.
But this feels like a genuine I work out and see in the bright sunlight all the time.
Right,
it feels like a genuine thing.
What a mom thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, this is very well done.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to be said about whoever wrote the screenplay, that they knew her character. Talk about the difference between this and, say, the Laurie Strode debacle of 2020, 21, or 2018 to present.
Right.
Like, this is a total mom move.
Mm-hmm.
She's lost her son. She doesn't want anybody going anywhere near the water. Whoa, shit.
Oh, hello. The shark doesn't look terrible in this
I was going to say, it looks pretty good.
There's a few points where it shows itself. I don't know. I got to double check something technical-wise, but there's supposedly points where you can see the mechanics of it inside or something like that. I just got to double check something.
Oh, there's like a blooper here. Or a
something. Yeah, so they shot at Super 35, so I think in like certain TV broadcasts, because Super 35 you shoot it kind of almost more like a square, whatnot. Then you mat things off to the anamorphic 2.35. Usually with the TV back then, you just open up the mat so it just fits the square of the TV. So when you remove the mats, you could see all the undercarriage type of stuff on the shark that's not supposed to be seen.
I see. She's got a Shasta cream soda there, which sounds delicious right now. She's going to get sand in it, though, which does not sound delicious.
No.
Our old friend is back.
as has been noted, because the time they're shooting this, between February to May or something like that. That's right around when they do the Oscars.
Okay, right, because he was shooting this at the time that he won.
He won for Hannah and Her Sisters, but because he was filming this, he couldn't go to accept the award.
By the way, Hannah and Her Sisters is probably my favorite Woody Allen movie, and is an underrated Thanksgiving classic. So when you're putting together your playlist of Thanksgiving movies, if you really want to be depressed, throw in Hannah and Her Sisters. It's friggin' beautiful, front to back.
Yeah. And also Diane Wiest won for that film as well.
That's correct.
And she ends up going off and doing The Lost Boys. So it's a bit of a better quality film than this.
Right.
But it was a wonderful...
Well, both Michael Caine and Diane Wiest became part of Woody Allen's troupe for a while.
Okay.
He likes to use the same actors,
Sure.
like kind of...
their comic timing and everything like that.
Right. And, you get a rapport. Michael Caine has been in several. Diane Wiest was in several. He goes into these rhythms where he has like a muse almost, and then kind of reuses people.
Yeah.
But anyway, what were you saying?
Well, because you can find it up real easy on YouTube, because the following year at the Oscars, he goes up to present an award alongside Sean Connery. And Michael Caine, as the bit goes on, decides to start making his acceptance speech the year afterwards.
Okay, because he couldn't do it, sure.
And then Sir Roger Moore comes out. You got two Bonds on stage with the fabulous Michael Caine, and they kind of do this whole thing. Just wonderful. Go watch it. As soon as you're done here, go watch it. You'll put a smile on your face. Because those are three men of class.
Would have been from the 1988 ceremony?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I imagine there's probably... Usually they bring the winner from last year to present the next year's category, as long as they're not also nominated.
Right.
So I'd imagine that was probably supporting actor.
Well, no, it would have been supporting actress.
Actress, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the opposite.
Gotcha. So that makes more sense. But it's a fabulous moment. Go watch it. I think all three of those men have been knighted, so... Connery and Caine.
Is Michael Caine a knighted? Is he a Sir Michael?
I think so. I don't know.
I feel like he's not.
Connery was. Moore absolutely was.
I know Connery was.
I'm surprised you wouldn't do it for Mr. Caine here. I don't know. No, he's listed as Sir Michael Caine. Most people don't use the moniker anymore to kind of present him, but he deserves it, hell. Like hell.
Well, yeah. Would you do that? Would you like, obviously if you were with Michael Caine, would you...
Well, if I was Michael Caine, maybe.
Well, I guess I mean with the pilot. Would you ride up front and steer the plane?
Possibly.
I think I kind of would.
Kept noting I was watching. It's like they didn't do too bad of a job with the blue screen over there, because out the windows it's definitely a blue screen. They're just locking it off and not like a sound stage or something for the cabin there.
Yeah, it looked pretty accurate.
It's like there's a slight bit of desaturation on the shot, but it's not terribly noticeable unless you're really aware of it.
Now that's a party, huh?
We're going to start getting into a little bit of our nonsense here in a minute or so.
I would love to have some kind of job like this. I'm so fascinated by the ocean and what's in it, because it's really like the final frontier, right? Like it's the only thing we know more about outer space.
Oh yeah,
than we do about what's in our own oceans.
Sure.
And that is
hello.
Shit. That's what he said. Look at that.
Could have done a little bit more with the eye there. I don't know. that big. There we go.
The front end did not look good, but the back end, like the close-ups look pretty good.
But now she's psychically aware of the shark.
Is she not able to see this from where she's at?
No, she's all the way on the fucking town square or something like that. She's not seeing this. She's having some psychic premonition about the freaking shark attacking Mike. They're nowhere near the shore.
Well, maybe she could just sense that something's wrong.
Well,
that happens.
We get more and more of this.
So she's already laid out to him her theory.
Right.
That the shark is going to follow them.
Yes. Thousands of miles.
From New England to the Bahamas.
Yes.
Which, as we know, has come true. Because it's not a random shark.
No, it's heavily implied it's the same shark.
I mean, how can you... It's even nonsensical to think that a shark would be there, let alone this shark, let alone the fact that it followed her.
Right. It's following the bloodline around.
Right. It has no knowledge of Mrs.
Nothing.
Brody.
Fuck all.
All it knows... It really... Are you telling me that it had knowledge of who Sean was in the boat? Like, oh, I could smell that blood. That smells like Brody blood. I better go get that.
Forensic cake down there.
And then, oh, the shark knows about the plane ticket.
Yeah.
And this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But having sat through Halloween 5 and the ridiculousness of Michael Myers spending 1 year living in a cabin, nothing can surprise me anymore. I used to love this movie when I was a kid.
Okay.
I always thought this one was like my favorite one.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just, I guess it was, you know, the rental age, and
sure,
it was the newest one.
Hello. I'll change your mind in a hurry.
Now with that haircut.
Yeah. That's
That's
what the light switch is for.
That's right. It's a butterface.
I was gonna say, it's like,
actually, her face is kind of cute.
Even when you stand there against the window and they got all the light going through the rain and everything, like, whoever shot this film did a really good job of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're trying to film it like it is trying to be like a serious drama to a certain degree, a certain serious character introspective moments.
Well, it's definitely trying to be more serious than the previous installment. And I like that there's, you know, this little bit of a romantic interest here.
Yeah. I think Caine was kind of happy to kind of have someone who's a bit more of a contemporary to himself to play off of in that regard. It's a flashy casino.
You haven't been in many casinos, have you?
No.
I love casinos. Love casinos, and I love roulette. Although they're playing craps.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to say that I don't understand it, but I really don't know the ins and outs.
Sure.
And whoa. Hot mama. So yeah, I definitely could know more about craps than I do. It's never really interested me as much as roulette is really my game.
Okay.
I mean, slots are my thing.
Okay.
Blackjack is probably the one that you can win the most money at.
Sure.
Like the odds...
It's more mathematical.
Right. The odds favor you playing blackjack more than any other game.
Sure.
I don't understand Baccarat at all. So getting back to James Bond and his...
And that one's going out of style.
Actually, I don't even think it's Baccarat that they're playing. It's another game that I can't even think of the name of that he's always playing, in particular the Sean Connery years, but...
Right.
I feel like they all play it.
Yeah. Because when they did Casino Royale, they updated it to more or less Texas Hold'em.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Universal term for it. And then the book, it was a bit more of a game that was no longer very popular.
Right. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's good in this. I really like him.
Has he done anything recently?
I'd have to check. I have no idea. I don't know what he's been doing.
This does not feel like the same casino, by the way.
Yeah, probably a different location.
This feels like, a hotel ballroom somewhere. But yeah, casinos are awesome. I love casinos. Most of them are very glitzy and glamorous, like maybe not, like some of the little podunk riverboat kind of things, but
sure.
Any real casino is, they got money. That's the whole thing.
Well, looks like Landscape is still acting, but there's nothing I'm really terribly familiar with. He's got most notable stuff, like he did an episode of House and NYPD Blue at a certain point in time. A couple of guest spots here and there, and some lesser known films, some short films.
So, we've already seen the shark.
Yeah.
The shark is already attacked.
Yeah.
That would have been a good midpoint, but we're not there yet.
No.
So, I'm interested to see it. I know it's going to be arriving here in the next few minutes.
Timeline-wise, this is about the halfway point of the film.
Right, but either they really came too early on the shark being the midpoint. I feel like is there going to be a scene here where Ellen, that's her name, right? Ellen?
Right.
Where she sees the shark and confirms that her suspicion is true?
I don't think she views the shark until the climax of the movie. It's all just the psychic nonsense until then.
So, what would be the thing that pivots the story other than the shark arriving for the... You know what I mean? It happened too early.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that the bigger suspense moments are still a ways off here.
So I guess this is more of a, they got a grant and they're...
Okay, yeah.
So Mario wants to switch gears, right? He wants to wrap up the conch shell thing and switch to investigating the shark.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense from a storytelling point of view.
Sure. It's not a dramatic shift or anything like that. So,
No, I'm just saying, like, as far as
tying into what we were saying a minute ago.
connecting the dots of, like, because of this, then that happens.
Right.
Not to say at midpoint. I'm just saying,
Right.
from a storytelling point of view.
Yeah. And I like the way that Lance Guest is playing this. I mean, ever since the shark attack, he's had this. You could see that there's all these gears moving around.
Turmoil, internal,
the conflict, all that type of stuff. Him reflecting on the past events he's has, like, how much risk do I go for?
Who's our main character in this movie? Is it Ellen?
I think it's mainly her, but I would argue more for Mike to a certain degree.
Well,
because Ellen's a bit more. Later on, she pushes the story, and she's kind of pushing it from the back seat in a certain way.
Well, what is your main character is the one who has the objective, who throughout the movie is trying to obtain the objective.
Right.
So what is our objective? Her objective, at least in the beginning, was to forget the death of her son and go spend the holidays down here. Then it's almost like we have a main character shift at the midpoint.
Kinda.
Which is weird, right? Because at this point, Michael just agreed to abandon his career and for temporarily, and study the shark with Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Much to the chagrin of the mother.
Right, and the thing is, he doesn't tell anyone in the family about the attack until it's too late. Until the shark goes out and attacks people out in the open, he doesn't reveal to anyone else that this has happened because he probably doesn't want to freak out his mother. And he doesn't want anyone else to try to convince him otherwise doing what he's doing.
So yeah, everyone is saying, hey, well, not everyone, the wife is saying, you're not yourself.
Right.
He hasn't revealed why.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some ambiguity as to who is the main character, what is the objective.
Right. It's not played as an ensemble piece either.
Right. It's not Lord of the Rings, Fellowship.
No.
But even in Fellowship, you add a main character with an objective.
Mm-hmm. Right.
By the way, well, never mind. I won't get into that tirade. I know you recently watched all of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I'm still pissed that 1/3 of a movie won Best Picture, but that's fine.
That can be a discussion for another time.
Yeah. I guess my point was, even in an ensemble piece like that, you still have one main character with one objective.
Usually.
And here we don't have one.
Right. It's a little... Not that it's bad for it. It's not the reason why the film is bad. Because you still...
I could argue that it is, because...
It can be.
A lot of times when people don't like a movie...
Mm-hmm.
And they can't necessarily explain why. It's probably has to do with the math formula not being equating out. And the math formula being the screenplay. And how there's a very specific formula of what you have to do.
Sure.
And a couple of those things in the formula are you have to have a main character, you have to have an objective.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're being very wishy-washy, hokey-pokey with what's going on, and it just seems like a series of random events.
I mean, at least from my regard, I'm more invested in Mike than I am Ellen Brody.
Right. Me too. So, from that point of view, I guess...
Mm-hmm.
None of these people are the least bit...
No, they're...
like...
startled or anything, you know.
The fact that there's never been a shark in this area...
Fins flopping around.
Yeah, floppy fin. Now, they were able to...
Pin a tracker on it, I guess. I think that's the case.
Yeah, but there was an entire sequence in the first film about how...
The barrels.
The barrels and how you had to... They used a gun and still couldn't even get the barrels to like attack...
Or even,
the skin was too thick or whatever the line was.
It was more the fact it's like the barrels were... I think they were meant to keep it from going too far underwater.
Correct.
Keep it close to the surface so they could attack it easier, but it kept shaking it off for some reason.
There was a whole discussion about how the skin was so thick that you couldn't penetrate it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, old boy was able to just stab the prick.
Right. His hair is just not
hers, yeah.
Just
bad.
No, thank you. It's not working.
I feel like they kind of both have the same haircut. His is just shorter.
Yeah.
They've got this kind of ramen noodle thing happening up top.
It's just not working. It's not working. It's just like, this thing's got to go right away.
Are his eyes green? I feel like they are.
Maybe a bit kind of almost teal.
I've never noticed that he had greenish eyes. Some poor continuity. The lady at the table behind them with the writing on her t-shirt has gotten up 2 or 3 times now from her table.
That's why you just tell them just stay at the freaking table until we're all wrapped. I have to go nowhere. You don't need that much background activity. Just leave it alone.
I feel like it would be exciting for him.
Right.
So this is kind of true to character. That instead of being afraid of it, he's excited.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like the contrast. Mario Van Peebles is a lot more excited about it, but the Mike Brody character, he's a little bit more apprehensive, maybe.
Yeah.
He's treating it with the respect because he knows how dangerous it is.
The fact that he would even suggest that the shark is after his mother is ludicrous.
Right.
The shark does not know who is related to who.
Yeah. He's with Michael Myers, okay? He understands English. You could talk... Pull out exposition out of your ass in the presence of someone to understand something.
The shark is an animal.
It's a freaking...
It's a fish. Fish don't know people.
No, it eats people. That's all it does.
You could argue that a dog would make more sense to know. Like, dogs are smart.
Yes.
Dolphins are smart.
Oh, very smart.
Sharks are not smart.
Dolphins are smarter than a lot of people.
That's true. No dolphin would ever have that haircut.
God, no.
On purpose, anyways. She actually is a pretty good actress.
Yeah, she's good.
How do you feel about the bib overalls there? That's a look. Is it weird to talk to your mother-in-law about your sex life?
Very strange.
I think so. I mean, the fact that there's a daughter implies that it exists, but you still just don't talk about it.
No, No. Fucking Christ.
Now he's having dreams.
Yes.
Are we to assume, then, that the shark also knows the familial relationship with Michael, and that is the reason he attacked the boat? Because he knows that Michael is the brother of the guy that he ate a week ago? 10 days ago?
You can smell the Brody pheromones.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God, this is...
What's on those curtains back there? Jesus Christ.
I wasn't paying attention.
They're like little people. You can see it kind of there on the background, but the one to our right matches. And here we have the matching shot.
Yeah, it's cute. I mean, if you were to remove the ridiculous sort of... You got psychic connections, the shark is following around for thousands of miles all over the freaking hemisphere. The director is doing a good job trying to at least give the story a little bit of... I'm not really going to say gravity, but he's at least... You can see that he's a good director. When he's working with actors, he gets good performances out of them. He can put together good scenes. I just think the screenplay kind of flies everything off the handle.
I'm going to go on record right here and say, they should not have shown the flashback.
Yeah.
Her, of
Strider and the kid in the first.
That ruins the impact of this scene.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if they just kept it out of there.
I get that she wanted to have a memory of the child. They could have shown another scene.
Maybe just cut it in later on in this scene or something like that. That'd be fine for me.
I don't know. I think it would have been better to take it out altogether.
I'm just saying, if you're going to use it anywhere, I think later on to kind of have her reminisce while seeing this would work better than setting it up randomly at the beginning.
To intercut it, yeah. I agree. If you're going to do it at all. But I really think they should have just not done it. And just
because it still works on its own.
Stand alone, right. And if you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you still appreciate it. I think even those canisters back there match the goddamn curtains, and I don't like it.
It's very orange.
I don't like it.
It's very orange decor. Not the best.
The canisters match. The
knobs on the freaking drawers.
The pot holders that are hanging back there match. The towels match. The valances up there match. Valence? I don't know. It's all bad, and I don't like it.
Nah, it's not the best color scheme.
I don't mind the color scheme. I just don't like the print.
Yeah. Okay.
I like earth tones. It's very 70s.
Sure.
I'm down. What I don't like is the wood paneling, the vertical. It's almost like wainscoting, but
it's not
all the way up. There's no wainscoting, right? Because
these crevices don't help when it gets older. It's all cruddy.
How do you clean? How do you clean that? Yeah. Now this is fun. I would like this.
It's much better than the yellow underwater thingamajigger in the last film with all the chroma key left through it and everything.
Right, this is reminiscent of like Titanic or
The Abyss.
Sure, yeah. It also reminds me of one of the very first PlayStation games that I ever played, and it's still one of my favorite video. I'm not a video gamer.
Sure,
I'm really not.
Not really.
I did love the Jaws game on the NES. I still have my NES.
Okay.
I play it all the time, and I have the original PlayStation. And one of my favorite games was called Treasures of the Deep, and you were in this little like submersible, and you had to go around and like collect lobster things and like collect pieces, and I don't know. It was like this really cool game. You could upgrade your wetsuit over time, and just different boats were better for different like levels.
Oh, we got action here.
Treasures of the Deep. Look it up. That shark can smell the Brody. That
shit
is right.
He always got these nice, aside from the beginning of the film when the guy got chomped up, at least here they always had these nice wide shots to give a little sort of like, fuck, that thing's freaking terrifying.
You know, that leads me to question, did they have to adjust that opening scene in post-production, or was it like part of a reshoot, or you know what I mean, like, did something happen to the footage and they had to just...
Yeah, I don't know.
Because all the rest of it looks so good, all these shots.
They rad principal photography, then they still did like another week or so of second unit stuff in the Bahamas or wherever the heck they were actually filming. And then there's a thing where they rejiggered the ending of the film, but I don't know about anything they did up in Martha's Vineyard for the Amity Island stuff.
I just feel like it was so
badly done regardless.
That, you know, only a technical malfunction could explain how poor it looks. And also, they've got a goddamn tracker on it. Did they not know it was right there?
Well, he goes down in the submersible, and then once he gets out of the thing, they say, "Oh, the tracker is going off. It's coming right at you."
Okay, it's coming right for us.
So that's why he jumped back in, and now he's going through this maze.
This is straight out of The Little Mermaid. Stole this scene. A couple years later.
It's a good sequence. I like the sequence. There's a lot more moments that feel kind of scary in this one than there were in the last two films.
Yeah, there's actual peril.
There's a few moments where... Again, a lot of it comes down to just how they shoot a lot of this stuff. When you can keep a wide shot on the shark, it looks scary because it's huge. You get a scale for it. When you're shooting extreme close-ups, I don't know what the hell I'm even looking at.
The original shark in Jaws 1 was 24 feet long.
Okay. What the fucking size of that thing? Christ.
Can you imagine?
Oh.
I can't.
You almost feel like it's just about to chomp you, man. You almost feel the teeth going into you.
Well, for me, it's the what if the air runs out?
Right.
That old thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to come through.
Shit.
Like, that's scary as hell.
Yeah.
He's going to Rocket Man himself up here.
Smart.
There was definitely no clearly defined midpoint, though. I'm still kind of pissed about that. It had to have been from, at least in the eyes of the filmmakers, it had to have been the moment when
the shark
appears.
Yeah.
Because that's stronger than his, you know, he didn't even have disbelief. Like, it was just...
almost shock.
Right. But I mean, it's not like in the previous movies where somebody was claiming there was a shark and nobody believed them.
Right.
We haven't even gotten to that point yet because he hasn't told anybody for anybody to not believe him.
Right.
It is very well acted, though, I will say.
Yeah.
At least on his part.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah.
So wait, what is he doing?
Well, he's gonna.
Is he trying to like do his own the cock
he's gonna
research?
explain it here in just a sec.
He also has very vibrant blue eyes, which is nice.
He's basically saying, if I can't get myself to go back down here now, I'm never going to be able to go back down there at all. So he's got to face the fear one way or another.
I like it. I think that's a good character move.
Mm-hmm.
Good hat out of that guy. More great underwater.
Well, the money that must have spent on all this underwater photography, because this is almost more than all 3 films combined before this. They're shooting underwater.
The budget, or
I'm just
you're just saying the amount of shots
the
that
amount
occur.
amount of footage they've shot underwater is probably more than the previous 3 films combined, which also costs a certain amount of money to rent the equipment.
Oh,
I don't know
about that. Part 3 had a lot of underwater stuff.
Yeah, but it looked like shit anyway, so it wasn't
Sure.
good to look at. At least on this one, they're actually crafting like full sequences underwater.
Right.
There's actually storyline progression here instead of just showing off awful fucking effects work. And I believe this is Melvin Van Peebles, Mario's father.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. That guy's dressed like Michael Jackson there.
Yeah, the trivia said he cameos as the mayor, so that seems to fit.
And this is her art piece that's being installed?
I guess so.
I think this is what I remember, is the little, like the banana boat thing that they're out riding around on.
It's weird, because Ellen Brody's been freaking petrified of even her own son going off and having a job in the water, and is like, yeah, just let my granddaughter, or where the heck it is, go run off into the freaking water or whatnot. I'm fine with that.
Well, I don't know if she's fine with it, but she's... I think
she's not... I mean, considering how much she was, like, dead set, I don't want you to work in this profession anymore, get out into the water, don't work there, I don't want you going back there at all. There's not even a moment of objection. I mean, yeah, she keeps looking back at it as like...
I think that...
It's a little disproportionate is what I'm feeling.
I don't know. I think that... I get the sense that she's trying to come to terms with that it's okay. And, like, she's trying to... The fact she keeps looking and she's like, I'm concerned, but I'm not saying anything. Okay, I won't say anything. Maybe it's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, she's obviously concerned, but she's trying to allow herself to let it be okay.
Oh, okay.
And now...
Yeah.
She sees that it's accurate. This would have been a good midpoint. But unfortunately, we're an hour and 7 in. This is like the 2/3, which is not a thing mathematically. We are still in Act 2. Holy shit.
Oh, see
what a great shot.
It's all in the photography, man.
And it looks kind of fake, though. Although...
Yeah, the skin looks a little rubbery.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Somebody do something is a great line.
Oh,
and look at this. This is awesome. This is way more exciting than part 2.
Oh, hell.
You can argue all you want about... Look at that. Look in the background there.
Shit. I'm surprised the MPA's letting him get away with this much. In 87? It's right on the cusp where they're just like, not having any more of it.
Well, I will say they did not show any limbs coming through, falling.
But they're showing plenty of blood. And it is very kind of like slow motion, linger on the moment type of thing.
And it was also a child again, right? Like a minor, at least. So, maybe not a young child, but...
Maybe it's just, I don't know. So flim-flammy, or what are you going to call it? Just so...
I like that everyone...
So flimsy in their excuses why they leaned into what they leaned into at various points in time.
Well, what is this shit?
I was like, what? I think it was like, okay, what is it you're intending to do?
Now she's a cowboy? All of a sudden?
You're not Quint.
No.
No. It's like she has even less business being out here than Chief Brody did. Fucking Scheider. In number 2.
Right. And this is Michael's boat.
Yeah.
Which... Wait. Oh, yeah,
Which
this
is a little disconnected. Can we just... I don't know. It feels weird. Okay, so Michael's boat is docked, but we just saw that Michael and Mario and everything like that were out on the sea with that stuff. So if he's docked back here, why isn't he also at the ceremony to install his wife's heart piece?
Right.
It's a little sloppy.
Now, I guess that maybe the research boat is a different boat.
Sure.
But
if you're bringing one ship in, that happens to be yours, I mean, it feels a little dodgy. Yeah, here we go.
that is a fair criticism on the wife's point, right?
Yeah.
You're right, though, because if the boat was there to be had, then he was also there to be at the ceremony.
Yeah. No. He's tucked in with no belt.
Oh, that's the worst. That's a top 5.
We haven't gone on about that in a while.
That is a top 5 violation in my book. And it's a Canadian tuxedo.
All denim all the time. I don't know how you get away with denim in the frickin' Bahamas, man. I don't know.
The wife, too, had the bib overalls.
Yeah, I don't know. There we go. Yeah, you can see more on the kind of left. It looks the color's a little bit off from the
well, a little bit.
Compositing.
A little bit, but it's not bad.
Seems a little bit more off where they have the compositing on the left side than it is closer to Caine here. So it's weird how the color kind of shifts a little bit. I've seen way fucking worse blue screen in this area.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks good, though.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's very believable that they're flying an airplane.
Today, if you want to just do a slight bit of color correction and be perfect.
Not it. How many of these big schooners are out there? You know what I mean?
Right. But they're so far apart that you kind of have to...
Well, sure, but I'm just saying, like, that is a very expensive boat to be your recreational boat.
Yes.
Like, even in 1986 or 7, this is it costs as much as a house.
I'm sure.
This big sailboat.
I mean, if it is as run down as it is, it's still a large vessel.
What does she think she's going to accomplish?
Well, right, that's my thing. It's like, okay, what do you think you're doing out here? One thing if you have like a giant harpoon gun or something like that, but it's like she's got nothing. She's just out here doing fuck all.
She's also tucked in with no belt.
Yes.
And Michael Caine just said Cuisinart, which it's a pronunciation thing, but I don't know, it's British. I guess he gets a pass. That shark.
She's almost like standing it off.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the Old West.
And she
it's like a goddamn cowboy shootout.
Did she just say, "Come at me, you son of a bitch"?
Yes, she did.
Fucking Christ!
Look
I
at
just
that.
want to make sure where that was in the film because I was like cringing at it when I watched it the other day. It's like, no.
Oh shit! That's awesome.
Yeah.
The thing, I don't think sharks can actually come out.
When it gets up that high, it's like, okay, that's a little outside the realm.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, sharks do not have, like, the jet propulsion to get up out of the water.
They're not on hydraulics.
No. No, they can, I would think that they'd be parallel with the water, right? Like, they would rise and maybe, like...
Maybe turn and kind of crest along with it.
Right. But I mean, they're making it look like one of those whale, like a whale.
It's gonna jump out of the freaking water, like
an orca, or whatever.
Flip floppy over the
top, like that scene in Free Willy, the famous promotional shot.
Yeah,
that looks pretty good for not being live.
Yeah,
on the water, so to speak. The plane there, did you see it lost a propeller?
Oh, I'm not surprised. You'll keep it busy.
That's a great shot. It might not be accurate to the surroundings, but at least it's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, shit.
Shit. That's hilarious. Christ.
Can we talk for a minute about why his name is Hoagie?
Hoagie.
Hoagie sounds good right about now. That shark just ate the plane.
Down, yeah.
It ate a plane.
Yeah, it ate a plane. That plane's not going to come back up.
And I guess they're trying to play to the sensibilities of us and make us believe that Hoagie has also been taken down.
Yeah.
I tried to tell you that the shark ate my son because it remembered it from when...
There it is.
For 25 years, the shark is known.
Like, it's not even the same shark. Every film, the shark gets killed.
Right.
So it's a different shark.
Right. It's... I mean, the logic is so bad.
I don't...
So, but, if you take away the logic of the shark, whatever.
Right.
The actual events of the movie are pretty good.
Right. Like I said before, it's like if you take out all the kind of ridiculous concept of the shark followed you around for thousands of miles and she might have weird premonitions or something like that. It's if you take all that out, it's pretty nice. It's pretty all right.
It's very entertaining. I loved it as a kid. I'm still loving it right now. So they're basically going to electromagnetically blow it up.
Something like that, yeah.
That's a good line.
I mean, one other criticism you could have against the film is like there's not really a body count.
Well,
Sean got chomped, and the kid on the boat thing got chomped.
Right.
Inflatable.
Well, I guess we're on pace right now with 2, but
yeah,
the pacing of this movie and the actual action and the story is bad, sure, and the continuity of the water is bad.
Yeah,
but the the movie itself is entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's moving at a good clip. The logic is the premise is faulty, but the execution is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this definitely feels like it's not the same water.
Yeah. It's weird. It's kind of weird in the reverse shot. I don't know if it's just some kind of trick of optics or something like that. The horizon, not this shot, but when you go back, when you're looking at the wide shots on the boat, it looks like there's like a thick black, almost like a matte line across the horizon. It just looks odd. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, that's actually pretty accurate, though. The ocean actually looks like that.
Okay.
But you can see, look at this thing.
Yeah.
Is he going to fall in?
Yeah.
It's not inaudible. Our captions say inaudible. She's yelling no. And holy cow.
Oh.
That shark was out of the water. It literally
Yeah.
came out.
Right.
The ass end of that shark was in the air in that last shot. See, even in this shot here, the foreground water is the dark blue.
Right.
Whereas in some of the
other way, it's very, very like vibrant.
the aqua blue, right?
Yeah.
Which, granted, those two scenarios do exist, but I feel like the continuity
They were
of
probably shooting on
where they shot it,
maybe different days,
right, or different locations altogether. That was very dramatic.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Oh, no, she's dead set.
So is he.
Mm-hmm.
The Canadian tuxedo pirate. It's coming right for us.
Now she's flashing back to moments that she wasn't present for to see.
Right. Including that one. Both of them.
And this one, too. The ending of the first film.
That's very stupid.
Yeah.
All of these insert shots need to go.
Yeah.
See, that was not just a case. See how the water's the dark blue?
Right.
They're further out to sea. Like,
There we go. It's roaring now.
it actually says roaring in the
Yes.
subtitles. The shark is roaring like a lion. They did that in one of the other ones, too.
Yeah.
Part 3, actually.
It's ridiculous.
This is so bad.
It's so bad. Yeah, come on. Now,
Well, so they ran the boat into it, and it blew up, and that, I think, was actually a man dressed as
this
Ellen.
is reused from the first film. That's the same footage.
No.
Because this is not the original ending of the film. This was reshot and recut after the initial release of the film. Because you can tell in these wide shots, that's like a painted backdrop on a tank.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Because in the original ending, which is also on this disc, but you don't have an option to watch it with the other ending. But basically, the thing just impales the shark and it just dies.
Jake is alive. You're telling me what?
So
no.
In the original ending, it just gets speared, impaled, and it dies. And audiences didn't feel like that was climactic enough, so they went back after the film was already in theaters and reshot this and recut the entire thing for it to blow up. And to save his character. He was completely dead in the other version.
He should be completely dead.
Yes.
Did you see what happened to him?
Yes.
He was chewed on.
Yes. So that ending gets put into the European version and gets kind of back and forth on like home video and different broadcasts back and forth which version they put out, but apparently on this one they decided to stick with this version as the proper ending of the film.
That is absolute horse shit.
Which is ridiculous.
Horse shit. Just saying.
Yes.
There's no way that he should be alive.
No. He got chopped in half. And they added an extra ADR line here in a second saying, when her back's turned to the camera, take good care of Jake. That's added in ADR for this ending. It's just so stupid.
That's absolutely the worst.
I mean, I don't know where they came up with the whole thing. It's like, okay, this time let's go a little mystical. Let's go a little magic or something like that. It's like, why? Why do you even have to have that idea in there? It would have been a perfectly fine concept that Shire's character has passed away between things and she's very depressed and they decide, as a family with Sean, we go down to the Bahamas, then something happens to instigate the plot. You could completely cut out the entire thing of the shark attack at the beginning and have the shark follow them all the way down there and all the other little things. You weren't far away from at least a respectable story.
I think, had you started it with maybe even the death...
Tom Morga.
Oh, there he is.
One of our elite.
Tom Morga. He's on the Mount Rushmore. If you start the movie with maybe the recent death of Roy Scheider.
Right.
Now we all go down south, like you said, and maybe there's a shark down there, and the fact that there's never, like, that's when it's revealed that the water's too warm. Nobody's ever seen one. Mario is excited. Let's go chase it. And then it eats Sean as your midpoint.
Yeah.
Then, she's blowing a gasket. He's out to kill it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you could have still had the Michael Caine. It would have been a little tighter. It would have been more respectable.
Yeah.
And although, don't get me wrong, I love this movie. I think it's hilarious, and I think it's entertaining, and it's got much more rewatchability to me than Part 2. Mm-hmm. Even 3 does as well. Despite being awful, I think they're fun.
Yeah. But this one obviously made the least amount of money of all of them. I think it still made profit, but it was like this is as far as this is going to go for them, because they made almost 52 off of 23 million, which is perfectly fine. That can work. You got just over double your budget, and then home video stuff like that. So they still made money off of it, but it's like we took this much of a dip on it. We're not even going to try anymore. They
made a lot of money from me because I rented this shit a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, but then of course is the funny thing. Okay, again Back to the Future 2. When Marty goes to the future, it's Jaws 19.
Right.
2 years after this.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they kept the pace up, that's about accurate.
They could have made it to 2015. Why not? Again, another thing to go watch is that when they did release Back to the Future 2, Universal did kind of a joke trailer breaking down every single sequel.
Oh, that's fun.
Perspective, like Cyber Jaws or Jaws in Space, or just the most ridiculous shit possible. It's fun. It's a fun bit they put out there.
I am actually shocked that there has not been another Jaws since over 30 years.
I'm surprised. I know there's been like...
You Got It All by the Jets I remember loving that song so much as a kid. And for some reason the Jets get completely removed from like 80s music pantheon. Nobody remembers the Jets, but You've Got It All by the Jets, a great song.
I mean, I know there's been like twitchy fears of someone doing a remake.
Sure. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Like that.
You definitely can't do that, but
again, I just guess like, okay, this one, they from their perspective, bottomed out. It didn't make nearly as much money, and of course it still didn't win over any critics any more than the last one did. So I was just like, we got better things.
Well,
we don't need to spend more money on a freaking mechanical shark.
I very much appreciate everyone indulging us.
Plus, they had the Universal Studios attraction anyway,
sure.
So that was probably more money for them anyway, regardless. So they didn't have to fumble around with that crap.
If they ever make another Jaws movie, even now, all of these great listeners of ours can guarantee that we will cover it.
Oh yeah,
on this very channel.
We would get to it.
So, write your congressman, write Universal, write whoever you got to write. We need another Jaws movie.
Just don't tell Spielberg; he'll probably nix that in.
Well, as soon as he's dead, that'll be. We're going to remake friggin' Schindler's List.
That man hasn't slowed down a bit.
No,
not at all. In all the years, still making great stuff.
Well, this is the beginning of the holiday season. Stay tuned.
We have four more classic fare to get to.
Sure.
Sure.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Thank you very much, and take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.